Hello YouTube, my name is Isabella and today I'm going to be discussing 5 somewhat recently announced adaptations that I'm really excited to see on screen, and I just feel like talking about it. I have always wanted to somewhat delve into discussing adaptations and stuff related to booktube, but I never have because 1, I'm the worst at actually following up on adaptations. I will pay attention to all the shit, the announcements, everything, and then sometimes I'll read the book and not like it, and then I'm like, well, what the frick is the point? But now, having been on booktube for many years, I have a lot of favorite series, and a lot of favorites have been announced to be adapted. And obviously the ones that I'm going to mention are not guaranteed to be made, with one notable exception. I'm also excited to do this video because it's such an exciting time to be a fantasy fan. Like, ever? No, that doesn't make sense. It's just a really exciting time to be a fantasy fan. Streaming wars have really been cooking up. Everyone's looking for the next Game of Thrones. And I'm just so excited to see different sorts of fantasy stories on screen and like big money being pushed on these series that I love. Like, this stuff is so exciting. Like, look at Amazon, they're spending so much money on like Lord of the Rings, Wheel of Time, and I'm excited for other series, newer series from newer voices to possibly be in discussion and conversation for this stuff. Like, this stuff excites me. This is going to be listed 5 to 1, 1 being my most excited adaptation that is in the works. But series number 5 on here, we know we're getting, because we're getting it in April of 2020. Did I just say 2020? God. 2020 will never get its grips out of us. We're going to see it in April of 2021. That's none other than Shadow and Bone, coming out by Netflix, Leigh Bardugo's brain baby and world, and I'm excited for it, but maybe not for the reason you think. I love the Six of Crows duology so much, but I don't talk about it often because the fandom can be a little intense. Intense is the word I'm going to go with. I almost said something a lot meaner. And I did not love the Grisha trilogy when I originally read it. I think in 2016. I couldn't find the tweet. I've tried, but I think the showrunner mentioned that it's essentially taking the world and the characters of Leigh Bardugo, but we're getting an entirely new story. Maybe not entirely new, but you know what I mean. And that is incredibly intriguing to me. I'm also just excited that I get to see Kaz and Dinej on screen. That shit's super exciting to me. I'm just really interested to see how it works. I'm surprised we don't have a trailer yet, seeing as it's coming out in like 3-ish months. I've liked what we've seen so far. We've gotten the theme song, we've gotten some teasers, and Leigh Bardugo seems to be involved somewhat. Everyone seems really passionate about it. We'll see. And I'm sure you'll get my hot takes in April like everyone else once the series finally airs. Every other series has been announced and there's been no definitive stuff really done, and now I'm just hoping we see them on screen. Starting off with series number 4, the Broken Earth Trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. This is the first book, the 5th season. The network is TNT, which I am not familiar with at all, so I'm just going to assume it's American. And I tried looking up, seeing any like recent announcements. The most recent stuff I could find was from 2018, so I'm nervous. I hope it's just pre-production and all that stuff is taking a really, really long time, because I think this could be incredibly meaningful and such a unique viewing experience on TV, and it needs to happen. The visuals in this story are so unique and different, and N.K. Jemisin's brain is just so amazing that I would love to see this in a visual medium as opposed to just kind of making this shit up in my head. I think there's so much that they could do with this story. It also would be incredibly meaningful because this is I think entirely a cast, or almost entirely, of Black people, and to see this on screen in SFF is not something that we have seen. I also love that the main character is a mother who's at least 40, I don't remember anyone's age, but she's had experience, and it's not going to just be a cast of like young hot people, but it can feature various different people. I think it would be fantastic, and I hope it gets made. N.K. Jemisin deserves it. So fingers crossed. This was somewhat recently announced, series number 3. I cannot wait again to see it on screen, and it looks promising. And that's The Greenbone Saga by Fonda Lee, the first book being Jade City. I was a little surprised that this was announced just because this series feels like a sleeper hit. Like, not enough people have read this story, in my opinion. And I know it's been making the rounds on BookTube, but it needs to go out from BookTube and like thrive. The reason why this seems promising is that it is development and the rights have been sold to Peacock TV, which is NBC's streaming services. And while that makes me a bit nervous because they're kind of untested in terms of their original content, and I don't even think I can get Peacock TV because I'm Canadian, but they seem to be putting a lot of resources behind it already in just what the barest minimum that we know. There's a showrunner already attached to this. There are writers. I believe they had mention of people who are set to direct as well. So like, looks like the wheels are turning on this one, and I can't wait. I think that this could be so special for, again, many reasons. This has, again, such a unique concept and tale. It's an urban fantasy that also has mafia elements. I think this could be successful because, like, it is urban fantasy. They don't have to come up with an entirely different world, and not that they shouldn't throw a lot of money at this, because they should for it to be successful, but I don't think it will be as expensive as other shows. We also have like martial arts being like one of their like main forms of fighting, but like with magic, and I think that on screen would be so cool. I love the way Fonda Lee writes our action scenes and fighting scenes in here, and to see them developed on screen, amazing. Series number 2 on this list is a series that I genuinely never thought that we would see on screen, for I guess kind of dumb reasons, but I truly never thought that this was going to be adapted, and that's none other than the Popular series by R.F. Kuang. For some reason in my head, this book is so dark for so many reasons that it translated to my brain as will never be adapted. That's too much, which is stupid, but I was always nervous that, I don't know, nobody would want to take a chance on this because it is really difficult to read. It is grimdark fantasy based on actual historical events. This was announced late 2020 by R.F. Kuang and has been, I think, financially backed by Starlight Media, who backed or financed Crazy Rich Asians. So it's an interesting switch. Possibly the most tonally opposite stories you could have. R.F. Kuang herself has mentioned that she possibly would like to see this as an animated series, and I think that could be a very successful medium, but I will take literally any form we get. I can't wait to see Rin and Neja and Gatai on screen. I think thematically this series is one of the best series I've ever read in my life, and to see that translated to screen would be so amazing, so powerful, and like so great. And if we truly get this on TV, you will never hear the end of it from me, if it's good. All right, running theme again. Another series number 1 on this list. I truly never thought I would see this on screen, and this is, again, for dumb reasons, specifically just because I love this series so much. It is officially my favorite series of all time, so I just don't think that's dramatic. I was gonna say, I don't think I deserve nice things, but this isn't just for me, although when the announcement came, it felt like it was just for me. Because I love it so much, I'm nervous, excited, scared, frightened, but I cannot wait for this to be on screen. I think it could be so great. And that is none other than the Devabad Trilogy by S.A. Chakraborty, the first book being The City of Brass. We all know this. I never shut up about this series. I love it so much. This was such a genuinely lovely surprise when S.A. Chakraborty announced that this was going to be made into a series over on Netflix, which, interesting. We have a showrunner who is Edgar Wright, who is most famously known for directing Baby Driver, which I think for most people would be promising, but I didn't love Baby Driver, but this is an entirely different medium show, everything. I'm okay. I'm just, to see this on screen, I think will be amazing for, again, so many reasons. I think S.A. Chakraborty's writing is also phenomenal, and the way she paints this world is so great that to see this on screen would just be like chef's kiss, cherry on top, like phenomenal. I think it also would be incredibly significant because this series features Islam as one of like the religions in the world. It's not the only religion, but one of our main characters practices and is very faithful. There are so many vivid characters that I love so much, and to see them personified and portrayed on screen is so exciting. And if we get more news about this, I will definitely be discussing about it here on my channel because I just have to scream about it with someone. So there we have it. 5 adaptations, either really announced a long time ago or recently announced to be in the works on TV. It's just an exciting time to be a fantasy fan. In publishing, we've seen the tides slowly changing to incorporate so many different and diverse voices, and to see that now go onto the big screen, or I guess I should say the small screen. As we can tell, I don't know that much about Hollywood and how things work, but anyway, to see these authors adapted and to be possibly put into millions of more homes is just such an exciting time. I can't wait to see what the fantasy genre has in store, just in terms of publishing, but then also in TV in the next 5-10 years. It's just so exciting to be a genre fiction lover in 2021. Almost said 2020 again. Let me know down in the comments below any adaptations or news of adaptations that I did not cover here in this video. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye.